Hello, darlings. You've all heard of Marilyn Monroe.
Welcome back, darlings. I'm TV host, entertainment journalist Cognac Wellerlane, and we are just about to see a fabulous interview with the ultimate scream queen, actress Debbie Dutch. Now, this is a two-parter because it's so long. There will be a part one and there will be a part two. So, let's get into the fabulous interview with actress Debbie Dutch. Welcome back, darlings. I'm TV host, entertainment journalist, Cognac Wellerlane, and I am here with the ultimate scream queen, actress Debbie Dutch. She's known for her fabulous horror flicks, and we love her so much. And welcome to Cognac's Corner, Debbie. You look gorgeous.
Oh, so do you, Cognac. I love this. This is so much fun.
I know it is, right? Well, we're going to start talking about you, but I want my audience just to know a little bit more about you. Just for those who are quite not sure, they have seen you on the screen, we want them to know just a little bit more about you. Okay, Debbie began her career on Broadway. Her destiny then led her to Hollywood to make her dreams come true. Now, Debbie, what inspired you to be an actress?
Well, I was just always a dancer and an actress since I was born. I was always performing in front of people and pretending that I was a movie star. So I just always had fun. Actually, in the woods of New Jersey with my puppies. I raised little German Shepherd Collie puppies, and I pretended I was a movie star in the woods, and the puppies were my audience.
Well, you are a Jersey girl, right?
Yes, I am.
As some people would say, a Jersey girl. But we're going to get into more questions, more stuff about you. I want my audience to know everything. Now, tell us the story how you embarked on show business, starting with Broadway. What led you from New Jersey, and how did that journey happen from New Jersey all the way to New York City and Broadway?
Okay, well, actually, I was about 16 years old.
That young?
Yeah, but what happened was my grandmother sent me abroad to Paris and Europe because I speak French. And I ended up in Hollywood. I have a very famous uncle who was an astrologer, and he was the astrologer to the stars. So I went to a big Hollywood party, and I'm actually also.
This was before you went to Broadway?
Correct.
Okay.
So what happened was I performed at his mansion, which actually was Marlene Dietrich's before he purchased it, and up in the Hollywood Hills. And I actually sang. I actually sing as well. And there was a big producer from MGM, and his name was Edgar Winters. And what happened was he wanted to sign me up for a contract in Hollywood. And my grandmother said, no, she has to finish school. So I finished school and went right to New York because I was advised to get the best training in the world, because you can't just think you're going to be a movie star. You have to be talented and you have to know the craft of acting. So I went right to the top of the ladder there in New York at the Circle and Square Theater. I auditioned, it was accepted, was in the junior company, performed on Broadway, and then I fell in love with a rock star. So
naturally,
of course, and what happened was he had a contract. Actually, he was produced by George Harrison and the Beatles, and he had a big deal in LA, in Hollywood, with A&M Records. And so of course I was in love, and I was on Broadway, and I realized I had talent. Well, I didn't realize it. I was actually told by my great late uncle Paul Roebling, um, and who was a great actor. And he said, "Debbie, go for it," you know. And he was my mentor in acting. So Hollywood was it. And believe it or not, the record company rented a beautiful home under the Hollywood sign in the Hollywood Hills for my rock star boyfriend. And of course, I was going along for the ride there with limos and hanging out with the Beatles and all that kind of cool stuff. And I would go to the Rainbow every night. And I'm so excited because I just heard the LA's reopening and the Rainbow's reopening. I still love going to the Rainbow, the rock and roll bar up on, you know, the rock show. Um, oh, oh God, I can't think of it now. But anyway, on Broadway, it was all based upon the Rainbow. But anyway, so what happened was I started auditioning after my New York training, and I got starred in a movie, and this is a rare movie called Bruce Lee Fights Back from the Grave.
Yes, I was going to ask you that
Okay,
question.
can you see this on the camera?
Yes, yes, Bruce Lee. Now tell my
And
audience.
this is one of the original.
Tell my audience the
this is
story, how that happened. How did you get cast?
Okay, I am. But see, this is very rare. This is one of the original DVDs of this first kung fu movie that I starred in, called Bruce Lee Fights Back from the Grave. And
Now, was this a horror flick? Was this horror?
no, this was kung fu, because you know I didn't become a scream queen until the early '90s. I was a regular actress. I was in movies with Goldie Hawn, Steve Guttenberg.
I saw. I was reading about you. I saw you
Yeah,
in a lot of things. A lot of
Tommy Lee
TV,
Jones.
a lot of TV stuff too. You had like parts in different TV.
Oh yeah, General Hospital, etc. and
General
so forth.
Hospital. Right. Right.
Yeah. So I was a regular actress, but what happened was I got a manager when I came to Hollywood, and he wanted to make a star out of me. I was young and pretty and sexy and all of that. And of course.
You still are, darling. You still are.
Well, wait a minute.
What's a babe? Always a babe. Wow. Wow.
You can't see anything other than this, right?
Yes, I see your
Okay.
They're beautiful.
Okay.
And I have my pink champagne to salute.
Oh my gosh, if it wasn't so early, I'd be joining you. I've got champagne bubbles is my motto.
Next time we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to drink champagne, pink champagne, because you see right behind me this is my pink kitchen. My whole house is pink because I love pink.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm like Jane Mansfield. I'm like a modern day Jane Mansfield. And that reminds me, because that's what happened to Jane Mansfield. Jane Mansfield was in California. She thought that was the thing, to be a movie star, to go to Hollywood, and they told her, no, you have to go on Broadway first.
That's correct.
Right, and she got that part, Little Success, Spoiled Rock Hunter, and she was a smash, and then that's how she became a movie star. She had to make a Broadway play before Hollywood would put her in the movies. So this like you did the Broadway thing, you went to Hollywood with your rock star boyfriend, and you got this role in Bruce Lee's movie. Now tell us about the character in the movie.
Okay, so what happened was, you know, I was completely on fire, you know, and I got this hot manager, and they said they're trying to find the new Bruce Lee, and you know, they're auditioning young ingenues. And so, believe it or not, the audition was at a Korean restaurant, and the whole film crew was there, the director, the star, who was not Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee had just passed away a few years earlier. They had a big competition who was going to be the next Bruce Lee. So it was June Chong, who was partners with Chuck Norris at the time. And they had a Kung Fu studio on Wilshire Boulevard. But anyway, my audition was my eyes. What they did is they sat there. Nobody spoke English except for the star, June Chong. And they had me look here and there. And they fell in love with my eyes. So if you see the movie, you'll see all these close-ups of my eyes. And I got the part, and it was amazing. I shot for 3 months, made a bunch of money. I mean, to me, it was a lot of money. And then they wanted to sign me for a 5-picture deal. And I said, no, I'm a real actress from, you know, New York, from Broadway. And I am pursuing, you know, a legitimate acting career because, you know, to sign a 5-picture deal with Kung Fu movies at the time was not even an option for me. So I turned it down, but what happened was I did become a star in Korea. And my, funnily enough,
I was reading that you became an international star in Korea. What was it like? You couldn't even walk down the street and they would mob you or something?
Yeah, and Times Square, there was a big billboard of me. And
Wow.
Bruce Lee
But
fights back.
what about, let's say you walked in Korea. Would you get mobbed?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Cognac.
Wow.
It was really that big, and I was surprised, but it didn't affect me at all because at the time I was so into, you know, just making it as an actress in Hollywood, and that's when I got into.
Of course, I mean, you're American. You wanted to stay here. I can understand that. I would feel the same way as you. I see. That's correct. You are right about that.
Yeah.
I see. So, now let's move on about your career. Now, eventually, you got the break in A Films with a cameo in The Amazing Howard Hughes in 1977 with Tommy Lee Jones. You landed roles in Protocol in 1984 with Goldie Hawn. I saw that movie, by the way, Protocol. And The Man Who Wasn't There with Steve Guttenberg, who I interviewed, by the way, Steve Guttenberg. I interviewed him on the red carpet. And with Gary Busey, Action Jackson, with Carl Weathers. And you did some TV shows like as Miami Vice, General Hospital, and The Young and the Restless. And now tell my audience, you also, from that point on, you branched out and you started to become a scream queen. And you started making all these fabulous B-horror movies. And among those, most notable are The Sorority Girls and The Creature from Hell, 1990, which is frequently shown on USA's Up All Night. And I'm one of those audiences that used to watch you on USA's All Night Long. So, oh my God, look at you, you sexy vixen. Wow. Now, how did this happen from being on General Hospital and Miami Vice? What happened to get you into the Sorority Girls? Tell my audience a story how you got cast in that role of Sorority Girls. What happened? Because
it's a typical Hollywood story, Cognac.
Because your career actually did a shift and it branched into the scream queen genre. Tell us what my audience wants to know the story. Tell us the story.
It's a very, very simple, basic, but cause and effect story. Everything's cause and effect. And I made the causes to be a great actress. I mean, in the sense of I'm going to, you know, be the best I could possibly be. I'm going to train. I'm going to keep up my acting career, et cetera, and so forth, contacts. There's a lot of work involved with being a successful actress. I'm not talking about being a movie star. I'm talking about just a working actress in Hollywood. So I was in an acting workshop with Sanford Meisner, which is the Sanford Meisner technique, which goes back to Strasbourg, and a beautiful, fabulous studio here in Hollywood. So the director of Sorority Girls, you know, loved my work, but he was just a young kid like me. But he hired me, and it's a Screen Actors Guild film. because I, of course, was in the union since right after the Bruce Lee movie, I got signed by, CBS for the Howard the Amazing Mr. Hughes movie. But so I had to join SAG. But that's how it happened. And I was Marianne, and we shot up in Mount Baldy, and it was absolutely fantastic. And as a young actress, I was so excited and used all my training. Yeah, I was cast right out of the theater school. So
Wow.
because, and that was the same thing with the Paramount movie, Steve Guttenberg. Bruce Malmuth cast me in that Paramount movie right from Milton Gonzalez's acting class. He saw my scene. I was perfect for the role. So it's very important as a young actress to get your work out there. Get in front of casting people, directors, producers, do showcases. Now with COVID-19, everything's on Zoom. But, I mean, look at us. I mean, I'm doing this fabulous interview with you. That's all through Zoom.
Exactly.
You have to be adaptable and be able to change the times. But back then, for sorority girls, it was from my acting class.
Now, I want to also get into, you have other accomplishments, and you have worked with major producers and directors, and one of them is Hard to Die, which is a Roger Corman cult classic, and the erotic hit Death Dances in 1993. Roger Corman is like hugely famous as a horror producer and director. Tell my audience a story about that, how you were cast with, and how you started to work with Roger Corman. Which you're working with him right now, from what I understand.
Yeah, it's the fabulous, brilliant, iconic director, Jim Wynorski. I met him at a Hollywood party. That's another thing. You have to go out and network. And sometimes you don't know when you're going to get lucky and when you're not. I mean, that's how I got in Dinosaur Island and a bunch of movies.
Oh my God, I show my husband the picture of you in Dinosaur Island. He goes, "You're going to interview her?" And I said, "Yes." And my husband goes, "Oh my God, she's hot."
Yeah. Well, so I met Jim at a fabulous Hollywood party with my best girlfriend at the time. Up in the Doheny Estates, living right next to Herbie Hancock. And that's the time I got, they call it Shakabuku, told about the mantra Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. It's a Buddhist chant for world peace. And that really brings about success and happiness in your life. But Jim was there, and he was really, friendly and talked to me, and he was impressed by that I had worked with all these fabulous actors and et cetera and so forth. And he said,
well, sure, because not only, as an actress, you can't, if you've been with very famous actors, they don't want somebody that's starstruck, you can't be in a scene with a very famous star and, oh my God, because a lot of actors sometimes they become very starstruck. You've heard that, right?
Yeah.
They get nervous. Oh, I can't act next to, this person because he's so famous. But because you were with these other actors like Goldie Hawn and Steve Guttenberg, and you've been with these very famous people, and you don't work with them, that just showed everyone that you are a very good actress, and you could deliver the line you need to deliver.
Exactly, but this has an interesting twist here. With Roger Corman, you cannot be one of the lead ingenue actresses in a horror film without going topless. And at that time, I said, no, I'm a legitimate actress, because back in the, late 80s, early 90s, if you started doing nudity, you actually weren't considered for the A movies.
You weren't, they didn't consider you as a serious actor. I get it. I guess.
Yeah. So what happened was, well, we skipped the part about my co-star with Al Pacino, but that'll be another incident. I mean,
Another TV show.
yeah. Because when that occurred, that's when I got Sorority Girls. So from Sorority Girls, that's when I met Jim, and I said, you know what? I just did Playboy, so I'm ready because I got picked by Playboy to be one of the young starlets that they featured in, and Shannon Tweed was on the cover, and it was like 1989, April 1989. So anyway, so I exposed myself and I said, hey, you know what? I would love
Now,
to
was
be.
this for Playboy or no? Because we're going to
No,
talk
no.
about Playboy.
Once I did Playboy, I decided, hey, what do I have to lose? I can go topless. I have beautiful, boobs. I got them from my mom, and I
And they're
never had a
yours.
problem.
They're
Yeah,
your boobs.
Yeah, I never had a problem with nudity anyway. I feel like the human body is a temple. So
Well, you
anyway,
just didn't want to do it because you didn't want, at first, because you didn't want people to think that you were not a serious actor.
well, it's an actual fact. Once you start doing nudity as a young actress, you get pegged and put in that. So anyway, so I told Jim, okay, I did Playboy, and just let me know. And what happened was The Haunting of Morello, he was shooting with Nicole Eggert, David McCallum, you name it. Oh, and Lana Clarkson, who got killed by Phil Spector, who I met actually in the studio with my rock star boyfriend back in the day. And the serving girl, the handmaiden or whatever, I guess my part is the handmaiden, didn't show up on the set that Jim had cast. And it was a nude scene. And here it is, a big SAG movie. And I get this phone call and Jim goes, Debbie, can you get down here? And I said, what do you mean? And I hadn't even showered or anything. It was the first thing in the morning on a day I wasn't working. And he said, I got a part for you. Just get down here to Roger Corman Studios. And there I went. And that was my fabulous friendship and business relationship with Jim Wynorski. And I'm so excited to say that it's still ongoing. And I did The Haunting of Morella in the bathtub, and I get my throat slit. And that movie was such a huge international hit that ever since, I became a scream queen.
The soldiers on this transport mission are about to have an experience beyond their imagination. When they come across an uncharted island.
Please, God, let it be Club Med.
Inhabited by exotic women.
Check out the Hooters on those bays.
For these men, it's a dream come true. Until it turns into a nightmare. 5 men thrown back to the Stone Age, caught between 100 women and 1,000 dinosaurs. Dinosaur Island.
This is part 2. Stay tuned, darlings. More of actress, scream queen Debbie Dutch coming up.
Queen.
You became the screen queen.
Correct.
But now I want to tell my audience a little bit more about you as an actress, other things that you've done. You did something called Dead Ear, and it was a release in 1999 in which you star as Barbara Rellis 2003 as a guest star as a sci-fi comedy for Showtime Movie Channel. You appeared in The Last Run in 2004, starring Fred Savage, and directed by Jonathan Siegel, and American Ride 2005, a Gold Dust Entertainment film. And you have been in over 40 films.
Oh no, more than that.
Well,
It's up to 100.
Well, it says over 40. It says over 40. And you've been a cover girl for many magazines, and is known worldwide through published trading cards and many media articles and magazine pictorials. And that's what we're getting to next. Your famous experience in doing a pictorial for Playboy magazine and the many parties at the Playboy Mansion. Tell us about your first encounter with Hugh Hefner.
I know, that's such a fabulous.
That sounds like a juicy story.
Well, actually, believe it or not, you know, I was also in acting class with Barbie Benton back when I was young.
Barbie Benton, she was beautiful, Barbie Benton. I don't know, I haven't seen her lately, but she was with Hugh for a very long time.
Yeah, so that was my in at the beginning to the mansion, but then I started after the rock star boyfriend, and then I was with a movie star, and then I was with a big Hollywood producer, and he
Can
had
you say who he is? Can you say?
No, I better not.
Okay.
Yeah.
We won't say. We won't
Yeah.
say. But
Yeah,
I want to know about Hugh. What was he like?
Well, that's how I got in. At first, I got in on my own, you know,
Right.
as a young starlet, and then I got on the VIP list once I started dating this big producer, and I met so many celebrities there. And when I met Hugh Hefner, he was always so gracious to me, and that had nothing to do with me being in Playboy, by the way. I got into Playboy on my own. That was a whole separate thing. And once I got into Playboy, then that even increased my visibility at the mansion. And I would
Was he very charming? He was very charming.
He was so charming and such a gentleman that he never tried to kiss me, but he was always with like 2 or 3 or 4 gorgeous blondes. He didn't need, you know, I mean, he had who he wanted to be with. So, he was just wonderful. He was so gracious, and the parties, Cognac, and even the Sunday evenings. I was invited to the Sunday early evening, late afternoon gatherings. Every Sunday he had that, and the Midsummer Night's Dream Party, which was in the summer. And you always wore lingerie, always. And everything was taken care of.
What's going on now with that mansion? Who owns it now?
I lost contact when he married Kimberly. I believe that was in the mid 90s. I was off the list. So I haven't been back since the 90s.
But that was a nice time for you because you were really enjoying Hollywood. You were enjoying the parties, the life, the Hollywood life. You know, that's the E! Channel. Remember that? The Real Hollywood Story. They should have done a story about you, the Real Hollywood Story.
Well, I'm going to be writing a book, you know, because I went to a lot of Hollywood parties, because back in the 80s, the Prince of Arabians were, you know, all over Hollywood, you know, taking over, you know, movie companies, et cetera, and so forth, the big mansions in Beverly Hills. And they always had bungalows at the Beverly Hills Hotel. I was invited to all those parties. And let
I
me
can
tell you,
imagine.
you wouldn't believe what went on at those parties.
I could just imagine. But we have to move on because we are
Okay.
doing an interview. So now I want to ask you also, the biggest accomplishment I think that you have done in your life so thus far is your baby, the Hollywood Warriors. You created the concept and you starred in the movie, and there you go with those posters.
Can you
And
see
you
the
starred
posters?
in it. Yes, I could see you starred in the movie. You produced it, you starred in it. Did you also direct parts of it in the film? Did you?
When necessary.
Yes. So that's tell us the story of how this creation came to be. How did you come up with the concept, and how did you
Okay.
come up with the story for this film?
Well, it's very mystical. What happened was in 1997, I believe it was 1997, 98, I was approached by a European movie magazine to appear and be back in those days, the 90s and early 2000. There were a lot of fabulous movie magazines, Scream Queen. I was on the cover of Scream Queen magazine, etc. and so forth. Well, this was called Cinema Magazine out of, I believe it was Germany, either Germany or Austria. Anyway, they were over in America, and I was chosen by popularity, in Europe as the 6th top B movie star in America. So they were doing a interview on each one of the girls, and of course, a pictorial photos, et cetera, and so forth. And the writer and photographer, et cetera, and so forth, said each one of the B movie queens, like in B movies, we have like a persona. In A movies, things are more straight, but in
Right.
B movies, it's more fun, that's why I'm so happy that my path changed from A movies with the change in the business.
Well, I think the A movies are really like more politically correct.
Oh,
Am I
now
right in
for sure.
assuming that? Am
Now
I right? Pretty
Oh,
much.
yeah. Now
Yeah,
for
they're more
sure.
politically correct, and you can't do this, and you can't say that, and you got to do this, and you got to do that, and it's just
Yeah.
after a while it gets on your nerves, but that's what it is.
So anyway, so what happened was he asked, well, what kind of persona do you see yourself as? And I had just finished starring in Death Dancers, which is a fabulous, I'll show you that poster. You'll love this one. This is one of my favorite movies, Death Dancer. There we go. If you ever get a
Oh,
chance.
wow, you are brunette.
Yeah, I have a black wig on. But anyway, it's one of my favorite roles I ever played, and such and so forth. But anyway, I always have a knife. I'm either killing somebody or a monster or being chased or killed by a
That's the
monster.
movie that you just showed
No,
me.
no, my
Your
B-movie
character.
career. My B-movie career. Yeah, in Death Dancers, I'm the villainess, but I'm actually the good girl. But you'll see it in the movie. It's great. You should really watch it. It's really cool. Very erotic. But anyway, I said I've always got a knife in my hand. So I said, I guess I'm a warrior. And the guy said, his name was Jonas, and Jonas said to me, perfect, we don't have a warriors. And that was coming off of Xena, the warrioress, and all that kind of stuff. Hercules was big back then. So I created this character the night before the shoot. I got my outfit together, and he had the location under the Hollywood sign, which I find very interesting because that's where I began my Hollywood career.
Exactly.
So we were in one of the beautiful estates up in the Hollywood Hills under the Hollywood sign, not far from where I was with my rock star boyfriend, when I first came to Hollywood. Anyway, I had my sword and I had my outfit, and the rest is history. I became the Hollywood Warrioress. I don't have that picture with me, But anyway, I'm under the Hollywood sign with the sword, and it sold like hotcakes. And then I did conventions across the country, signing autographs, to
Wow.
my photos, and the Hollywood
Now,
Warriors.
the Hollywood Warriors, that got on Amazon Prime. Am I right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And did you have a big audience as a result of it being on Amazon? Because not everything on Amazon people look at, but this particular movie, from what I understand, did very well on Amazon.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, that was the original. That's the original movie. Now I'm shooting the sequel. But just to tie up the end of the story, what happened after the magazine got released in Europe and actually got released worldwide, for some reason, the picture of me with the sword and the warriors concept that came as a vision to me, just took off. The fans wanted more pictures. I kept selling out of it. So I thought to myself, I go to the film market every year because I'm in a movie at the film market, and they call me down to promote it, et cetera, and so forth. If you knew anything about the American film market, it's buying and selling films, and they're usually B movies, independent producers. And I thought to myself, I have so many contacts now. Let me get sort of a treatment together and a couple photographs and see if I can get some financing. So that's how it all began. But it ended up that, it's quite a story. Somebody ran off with the original film, and a couple of the original financiers turned out to be, rip-off artists. So I just said to myself, I'm not going to give up. I'm never going to be discouraged to make my dream come true. I'm going to make this movie. This was a vision of mine, and it has a mission to help guide the youth of today from evil to good. And
like what's going on in our world right now.
Exactly. And world peace. It's all about world peace. And so I said, I got to make this happen. So I produced it myself. I just pulled out my credit cards and I produced it. And that's why I ended up directing and writing some of it. But I have great directors.
I just interviewed someone. He's a filmmaker, but he's a novice filmmaker. But this guy, his name is J. Samuel. I think, that's right, J. Samuel Ryan. He's only made 3 short films, but he told me that he became very disillusioned with the people he was meeting and when networking at these film festivals. And because, a lot of people give you that BS line. They tell you they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to help you, they're going to do that, They can't even help themselves. So he learned very early on, very quickly, if I don't do this myself, it's not going to get done. And sometimes that's what you have to do. And kudos to you that you had the guts and the balls to do it yourself and take your credit card and say, you know what? This is my dream, this is my vision, and nobody's going to stop me. I'm going to make this movie.
Yep, and it's a SAG movie. So, I had to go SAG, in order to really do it big time.
Yeah.
And so what happened is, after the first movie came out, I premiered it here in LA, and then I had a Chicago premiere. I have 4 different locations for filming. I film right down, in New York. Cognac, you can, if I go back to New York to film, you can be in it if you want, because I create.
I would love to be in one of your movies. Are you kidding?
Well,
but you got to make me wear keep my.
Oh, of course. I want your character just the way you are. But that's how I cast it.
Put me in the movie. I'd be more than happy to be in one of your movies. Are you kidding?
Yeah. Oh, no, this is going to be a hit. And I film in New York, Philadelphia, Las Vegas, Chicago, and Los Angeles. So
now,
all those.
I'm just curious about something, because this movie has so many moving parts to it. Because now that you made you did one, you're going to do a sequel, and the character in you, this is like a dream, like a franchise dream come true. You could sell comic books. You can make an action figure. I mean, there's so much merchandising that can develop from this. Am I right about this? Or do you have plans to merchandise your character in this film?
We already have a comic book ready to be published. Here's a,
Wow.
and see the lion at the bottom?
Wow.
You have to have the roar of a lion. The lion will overcome everything.
This is what show business is all about. I tell young people today, you have show business is a show and there's a business, and you have the whole purpose is to make money, and that's what you're doing. That's the whole principle behind the show and the business. A lot of people just want to act, but you have to take control and make it into a business that you could survive for the rest of your life. Am I right or am I wrong?
Oh, you're absolutely right. But you always have to have, support financially.
It's hard. That part is hard.
Yeah, that's why, I ended up, teaching yoga. I dance professionally. Now, I also fragrance model for Michael Kors at Macy's. All these jobs support me so that I can go and make movies and make
money with that too. And you have to hire lawyers,
Oh yeah.
That's a big thing too. You have to have lawyers to protect your investment. You have to hire the right people that know what they're doing. It's a very, people don't understand, but show business is a very serious business. Very, very serious. So, so that's what you're working on right now, the actual sequel to this movie. By the way, I saw the trailer and I love it because you know what I love about it? It has a little bit of Greek mythology in it.
Oh, it's so much about mythology.
Yes, I love that.
Parts. I play 4 roles in there. I play Deborah, which is like the B Hollywood movie actress in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Then I play Athena, the goddess.
I saw that. There's a lot of people, because as a journalist, I research a lot of things and I listen to what a lot of people have to say. And there's a lot of people that do not think that it is Greek mythology. A lot of people really believe that there might have been actual people, people that were so superior to us that came here from another planet. I don't know if you believe in that stuff, but
I of course believe in it.
Yeah, a lot of people think that these are not really myths, that they really were super beings, and the Greeks looked up to them as gods. Of course you would look up to somebody that's a super being that has supernatural powers. Of course you're going to think of them as a god. So maybe they were not really myths. Maybe they really did exist. Who knows? Who knows? But it's been so much fun interviewing you.
I had such a blast.
I really enjoy interviewing you. You are really a treasure to interview you. You have had such a career. I have never interviewed anybody that has been more exciting than you. Trust me. I mean, I've even interviewed movie stars on the red carpet, and some of them are like, but you are very, very exciting. You are a fabulous actress, a fabulous person to interview. I wish you all the luck in the world with this new film coming out, and I hope you get more of that merchandising out with the character and everything. Debbie, tell my audience, is there a website, a Facebook page, an Instagram? Where can we go to find out more about your sexy self? Where can we go?
Okay. My Facebook movie page is called The Hollywood Warrioress. So please, everyone, join it. You're going to see all the new stuff coming out. The new series called War of the Gods, which is a sequel to Hollywood Warrioress. And all of the updates are there. And I'm going to reopen my website. I had the Debbie Dutch website for years in the 90s. I have a fan club, but we are now in the process of reconstructing that. So please, if you want to have a autographed photo, don't go to these other people, because I get fan mail and sign these photos from all over the world, believe it or not, but they didn't get the photos from me. They're downloaded by
Wow.
somebody
So they
else.
need to go to the HollywoodWarriors.com.
And then I'm going to reopen, we're under construction now, the DebbieDutch.com, where, you know, you're going to get the authentic Debbie Dutch photos and all kinds of stuff. You know, you can get from me, like there's coffee mugs with my lip prints on it, et cetera, and so forth, you name it.
Fabulous.
Yeah, so.
Debbie, I can't wait for this movie to come out. Invite me. If it comes to New York, invite me to the premiere.
Oh, no, I'll call you. You can be in it.
All right, beautiful.
If you don't say anything, it's $98. And if you say something, it's $125, because it's Screen Actors Guild.
Okay, that's fun. But you, darling, I want to toast you. Pink champagne.
I would have brought my champagne glass with 2021 on it.
About it next time, we'll do it. And I want to thank you for doing the interview. God bless you. I wish I was there to give you a pink champagne kiss, but I'll blow it to you. Pink champagne kisses. And we'll be back with more celebrity interviews right here at Cognac's Corner Magazine. Pink champagne kisses.
In an embittered world that thrives on sin, you still honor righteousness and virtue. Of all the resources at your disposal, the greatest is your unselfish love for others.
O ancient ones, I call upon your wisdom. If you hear me, give me a sign.
Hollywood. Tomorrow, the world.
I told you kidnapping these kids was too far.
Athena, give me the power.
Thanks for watching my interview with Debbie Dutch, actress Debbie Dutch. She is, of course, the ultimate screen queen and horror actress. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I publish a video every Sunday or every Monday. And my videos are all about celebrity Zoom interviews and shopping hauls from Fashion Nova, Amazon, Victoria's Secret, and Shein. My videos are all about shopping hauls and entertainment. Keep watching, darlings. Please don't forget to subscribe. Pink champagne kisses.
Hello, darlings. You've all heard of Marilyn Monroe. Some of you know Bridget Bardot. Well, now it's time for the Cognac show. I said the Cognac fabulously dressed to impress. One of a kind girl. I was brought into this world wrapped up in pearls. I love to mingle, though my husband reminds me I'm not single. I meet and greet both the famous and the elite. I ride in limousines, drinking the finest champagne, wearing furs, dazzling diamond jewelry. A girl can't complain. I live the upscale life, dining in the finest restaurants, eating the best caviar for free. And no matter how much I enjoy cognac, ooh, ooh, I said cognac, ooh, ooh, ooh.
It's been a Crybaby Productions, darlings.